This is Riley from the Natural History of the Hawaiian Islands Group 9, and in this video I will be going over our group's final project, which was a website highlighting the natural history of the Oahu tree snails. And so this is our homepage where we first go over who are the Oahu tree snails. They are a group of 14 species belonging to the genus Acatanella, all of which are endemic to the island of Oahu, meaning they're found here and nowhere else in the entire world. We also talk about why you should care about Oahu tree snails and provide a podcast as well as the taxonomy of the genus Acatanella. Next, we go into an exploration of the species, starting with some fun facts about Acatanella, and then we go over some videos about anatomy as well as a tour of a snail exclosure. And then we provide you with two graphics going over some aspects of snail shell morphology. And I will note that in this Acatanella anatomy video, if you watch until the end, you'll see a video of a Kāhuli giving live birth, and this is the first documented instance of this behavior, so definitely worth the watch later on. Next, we go into colonization and evolution, where we go over the three methods that organisms arrive in Hawaii: wings, waves, and wind, and then we talk about how snails likely came via the wings method, either in the digestive tract or attached externally to a bird. Then we talk about how they needed to find a home here on the islands, and then talk about some of the various evolutionary forces driving this spectacular species radiation. Next, we go into the habitat of Kāhuli, where we talk about how now they're restricted to the highest peaks of the Ko'olau and Waianae mountain ranges, and how they're found on native plants such as ohia and ie, and then now, due to habitat destruction, some non-native species. We also talk about the Kāhuli diet, which comprises of fungi and molds that live on the surface of leaves out in the forest. And then we talk about the role of Kāhuli in the ecosystem as nutrient recyclers, as well as an important food source to various organisms such as this honey creeper, the po'ouli, which is now extinct, as well as a carnivorous caterpillar. Next, we go into the cultural significance of the genus Acatanella. We talk about a few of their Hawaiian names, as well as the cultural symbolism surrounding these snails, as they're mentioned in various mo'olelo, oli, and mele. Lastly, we take a dive into their conservation efforts surrounding the genus Acatanella. We give their current conservation status with 10 out of 41 species still extant. We pay a little tribute to George, who was the last Acatanella apex volva who died in captivity before a mate could be found for him, or her, or they. Their snails are hermaphrodites, so they don't have gender. And then we talk about the threats, past and present, that these Kāhuli are facing, which includes introduced predators, habitat destruction, climate change, and shell collectors. And here we provide the three introduced predators that are now threatening Kāhuli populations across Hawaii. And then we talk about current conservation efforts, which mainly consist of predator control as well as captive rearing. And then lastly, we provide you with some resources that you can use to help in Hawaiian snail conservation, which include donating to the Snail Extinction Prevention Program if you have the means to do so. But if not, you can volunteer your time or even just educate others to help get more people talking about Hawaiian snails. And then we go into the exhibit where we showcase the diversity by showing photos of all the extant species of Acatanella, all of which are represented in the Snail Extinction Prevention Program lab, but sadly some are extinct in the wild. Then we go over some extinct species, which unfortunately is greater than extant species, and a little bit sad to scroll through. Then we go over some Acatanella art made by various artists and provide you with links so that you can purchase these pieces of art if you wish to do so, as well as provide you with some resources to make your own Acatanella art and some fun Kāhuli comics. Lastly, we provide you with some books on Kāhuli, both children books and books for an older audience. And then finally, we list our resources as well as provide a brief synopsis about Group 9 and all of our members, who are Alia, Kira, Riley, Isabella, and Chanel. And lastly, we'd like to give a special thank you to the STEP Lab for allowing us to come for a tour of their conservation breeding facility. And with that, our final project is concluded, and I hope you enjoyed it.